Hi, this is Camille from My Junk Journal Heaven. I saw somebody do a pocket out of an envelope like this and use the window. And I like using windows out of the envelopes. So I cut off, I cut off part of this so that I just have the larger window in here. And I want to cover it in something, and I'm thinking I might cover it in the brown paper. So I'm going to tear it. Let's hope that went enough that I can cover it with what I tore off. If not, nope, that's not going to work. We'll just use this bottom part. I can tell that's not going to be big enough. And it's not like I don't have enough brown paper from Amazon packaging, right? Okay, so first I need to be able to cover the back and the front. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is make the place for the front, or in the front where the pocket is. So and of course it couldn't be even. I wonder if it'll be even doing it this way. Yes. I want it just a little over 2 millimeters. So probably right about there. So that far in. And a little further on this side. This one needs to be about that far in. Oh, but I don't have this marked on here. How is everybody? I hope everybody's good. Doing fine. I'm good. I was at the Stone Mountain Highland Games in Georgia this last weekend, and I usually use a scooter because I have a hard time walking any distance. And I have a lovely scooter that I got last year for Christmas from my son and daughter and son-in-law. One of my sons, anyway, it doesn't matter. I got a really nice scooter, but it doesn't work well on rough terrain. And I found that out because I took it to the county fair, and it didn't do well on the dirt. It's not very high off the ground. So I got out my old scooter that is probably over 16 years old, and it was used when we bought them. My husband and I used to go to Disneyland a lot, and we would rent scooters at Disneyland. Well, they were $50 a day, and that's just a little bit ridiculous. So we just stayed at a hotel one time, and they had these for rent. So they were rented $45 a day. So we said, oh, that's a good deal. So we rented them there, and then I thought, I'm going to call the company that rents them and ask them if they sell any. And I called them, and they said, oh, yes, we always have used scooters for sale. I said, okay. So we went and looked. And I think I paid like $275 or so for the first one. And somewhat more, I think $325 for the second one. We didn't buy them both at the same time. And so then my husband and I both had scooters to ride around Disneyland. And when I got the new one last year, I thought, oh, I don't need those anymore. So I sold the one that had been mine and just hadn't sold the other one, didn't get around to it. So I decided that we would take that one to Stone Mountain, and they're really heavy. They're the heavy-duty old scooters. And it did really well on Saturday. And the power thing showed that it had plenty of energy for Sunday, so I thought, well, we'll be fine. We didn't take it out and charge it at the hotel or anything. So Sunday comes, and I was riding into the games, because of course you have to park out in the parking lot. And I got partway in, and my scooter started pooping out, and I got into where the clan tent was, and it pooped out. It died. So there happened to be a place with electricity just not too far away from where the clan tent was, so I went and hooked it up and let it charge for a few hours. And I was hoping it would be good, because they do what they call a clan march, where all the clans march in with their banners and so forth, and you have to stand in line for a long time before you march. And then when you're in there, then you stand there for a while they make announcements and do this and that and the other. So I was hoping it'd be ready for that, and it wasn't. So I wasn't going to miss out. So I went in, and I went and stood in line, and then I went in and stood, and we were out in the sunshine, and it was not horribly hot, but it was pretty warm. And I got really hot. My feet were swelling up. My bad ankle wasn't doing well. I finally got out of the line and went over and sat on the edge of the stage. A gentleman had done it before me, and so I thought, well, I was at least as old as him, so I went and sat there for a while. Well, he went back and marched out with his clan, and I went over. I went and marched, went over and ducked out the side to get to my clan tent. So anyway, got home Sunday night, and I was exhausted. I imagine a lot of it had to do with being out in the sun. Oh, look at that. That's ruined. That's not going to work. Not that way. Anyway, so I was really tired. So I was in bed by 8 o'clock, which for me is just unknown. And the next day I could hardly move. My legs hurt really bad during the night, and the next day they were hurting. So I think I took more ibuprofen than I've ever taken in my life. I think I'm going to have to cover it this way, aren't I? Anyway, I'm finally feeling better. I can move now without hurting so bad. And the final thing was, my son-in-law had found something that he wanted to buy me. My birthday was the first part of the month, and so he found something he'd wanted me to have for my birthday. So I was hoping the scooter would make it at least back out to my son's truck. So I rode it up to where the shopping area was, and it didn't quite make it all the way up there. So I parked it, and then I had to walk. That was part of the reason that I was in such bad shape. So we walked through the things, and my son-in-law had seen a purse that they make in the Hebrides in Scotland. It's made out of wool. They're beautiful. They're not clan tartans, but they're very pretty tartan type things. Very pretty. So he decided that I needed one of those. The one he thought I needed was hot pink. I'm not a pink girl. I'm just not a pink girl. And I told him, that's real sweet, but the hot pink just isn't me. So he said, well, choose whatever you like. And I found one that was purples, and then there was another one that was purples and yellows. And those are the colors that I had for my wedding many, many, many years ago. So I decided I liked that, and I couldn't make up my mind between the two of them. One was smaller and one was larger. So it ended up, I decided on the purple and yellow one instead of just the purple one. And my daughter ended up buying both of them for me. Anyway, we walked through all this stuff, and finally made it back to, I had to walk to my son's truck, which is a ways. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. We'll see. It's an experiment. If it doesn't work, this video never happened. So anyway, I was hurting really bad Monday. I didn't even go to my water aerobics. I didn't. Our instructor always says, if it hurts, don't do it. And I thought, I hurt before I even get there. I'm not going to do it. So I didn't go. I went Tuesday, and I'm glad I did, because that helped. But it still hurt. It still hurt. Utterly miserable. So I'm going to charge up the scooter and see how long it lasts. It may need a new battery. I mean, as old as it is, it may need a new battery. And I can't see just buying a new scooter because of the battery, because the body of it's in good shape. Unless I could get one that was lighter weight, because it's quite heavy, but I don't think they make them lighter weight that are big like this one. It's got a nice big comfortable seat and a basket in the front, and my little one doesn't have all that because it folds up to go on the airplane. So okay, well, I should have probably inked those, but I might be able to do that anyway. Let's see what happens here. Now I want it to be open here. So I also would like to tuck it in a little bit. And I'm going to have to also cover the back. I do want to fold this in and cover the side. I don't like the raw edges showing. And this brown paper is kind of thin, but it'll work. Yeah, that works. All right, now I need to get this glued in here. This was supposed to be a tag, and I've even got it lined, but I like it. I don't know if I'm going to like this brown paper. I may end up doing a different colored paper in there, but for right now we have the brown paper on the outside. I may piece some other things over it. So how is everybody? Are you doing crafting and fun things now that it's fall? making fall journals. I'm going to start working on Christmas journals soon. I have one more fall journal to make, I think. I think I'm going to be making one more. Maybe I should have wrinkled that and then inked it a little bit. That would look nice. And I don't know whether I need to cover the back if I glue it down into the book. So, I think that's what I'll do. I'll just glue it down into the journal. Whichever journal I put it in, it will end up being glued in. And let's get this piece cut. And I'm going to throw all this away. I have so much of it, I don't feel guilty getting rid of scraps with that. If it was digitals, I might keep it, but this brown paper, and now let's see. Yeah, that'll be all right. That'll seal up the top of it where it's open. So I haven't made a video yet this week until now. I've just kind of been lazy. Lazing back and getting over so much walking. And standing. I think standing's worse than walking, just about. I don't know about everybody else, but it is for me. Let's see here. Oh, that's too big. I was thinking about something like that, but that is way too big for that. But I have a whole container of little goodies here that I can put on there. There's a small one. Put it on this side. Yeah, put it on that side maybe. I think that's probably one of the smallest things I have in here that's already cut out. And I definitely don't want to be fussy cutting. Nope, don't want that up there. I think that's it. Unless I want this one, which is even smaller. Yeah, maybe I'll use this one. And it's been inked, but it just doesn't look real good. I'm going to ink it again. I think that'll look fine on there. But I really think I'm going to ink this up a bit. Especially the edges. If nothing else, the edges. And I don't think that's enough, but that helps. Let's see if I have something else I can put on there. Some other paper or something. Something. I printed out some papers and they ended up being, oh, that doesn't look good on there, I don't think. Okay, I got into my scrap box and I found some pieces that I think will look okay on here. think that one will look all right on that side. And I'm not sure about that one. Ooh, maybe I ought to put this one on this side and leave a little bit of brown here. Or put it up close and have the brown on the outside. That might not be bad to have it kind of frame it. That's a thought. And if I do that, this needs to be cut right about there. And that is not even, I don't think. Well, let's measure it before I decide to cut it. Nope, it's definitely not even. I'm going to attempt to cut this. We'll see how it works out. It's not that far off, but it was out far enough off that it definitely didn't look good. That's much better. All right, and where did I mark it at the bottom? Down here. Now if I put that along here. Oh, look here. I've got all kinds of goodies to put. Put one of these across the top. It'll need to be cut down a little bit also. What goodies you find in your scrap box, huh? All right, this one can go here, but it definitely needs to be cut down. If I'm going to make it like a frame, well, that's probably over too far. Probably there. Okay. Let me see if I get that mark right there where it needs to be. I'm not sure this side's even. I might want to even this up a little bit. Well, nope, it's even. It just doesn't look like it. I don't know why, but it doesn't look like it. Sometimes patterns are deceiving. Now I want that on there, the color. So I need to even it out right about there. And this needs to be cut about there. My daughter and son-in-law, who were at the games, live in Henderson, Nevada, Las Vegas, basically, and they flew in, and they were flying out through Atlanta, which doesn't have a real good reputation as an airport. It seems to be that they people have problems getting in and out of there. So they were there in way plenty of time, and they have the pre-check thing because they fly everywhere. That's going to have to be cut down. Okay. So they were there in plenty of time. And she said they waited 2 hours in the TSA line, even with the pre-check. And they missed their flight by 10 minutes. And so then they had to get another flight and go in somewhere different. I think they were supposed to go from Atlanta to Dallas. And they ended up going from Atlanta to somewhere else. And she said they were probably going to get home about 9 o'clock. And the flight was delayed by 2 hours. When it was delayed by 2 hours, she said they'd probably get home by 10 o'clock. So it was delayed 2 hours, and then the next flight, and then it actually got delayed longer, so they didn't get home till 10 o'clock at night. And I think their flight in the morning was at 9 or something. It was just terrible. I'm glad I don't have to fly like that. We have a nice little airline now that flies out of Huntsville that flies directly to Las Vegas. And before, when I'd go to visit, I had to have a layover in Dallas, which isn't the end of the world, but Dallas is a big airport. And it's hard to get around when you can't do a lot of walking, which is why they bought me the nice little scooter so I could get around the airport on my own. But I'm very happy to be able to have a direct flight now. And I can fly into Las Vegas, visit with them for a while, a day or two, a week or two, whatever, and then fly on to San Jose to visit my sister and brother-in-law, which is lovely. Absolutely lovely. Oh, I think I better ink these. I'll regret it if I don't. And nowadays, flights are delayed. The last time I flew out of San Jose in the spring, I'd been at my daughter's, and then I was at my sister and brother-in-law's. And I was flying out of San Jose, and the flight was delayed. Well, first they told us we were at one gate. Then they told us no, they'd moved us to another gate, so everybody moved to the other gate. Then they moved us back to the first gate. Then they said the flight was delayed, and they moved us to a totally different gate. And the flight was still delayed. The pilot showed up. He wasn't very happy. And he said, "Why are we delayed?" And they said, "We don't have a plane." He didn't like that very much. So when the plane finally came, they said, "Oh, you're gonna be leaving it by blah blah." I don't remember what time it was. We'd already been delayed by over 2 hours. And he said, "No, we'll be leaving in 15 minutes after we get loaded." He said, we're going to load. He said, "I'm sure these people want to get out of here, and we're going to take off." And I know if you've flown, you know how you get out to the runway and there's lines of planes waiting to take off. Well, when we started out to that runway, we went out on the runway and basically got in front of all those planes and took off. I don't know what the pilot did, but We were one of the first planes to take off. I wasn't complaining. I was supposed to get into Las Vegas in time for dinner, and I ended up getting there at 10 o'clock at night. So I was not unhappy that he did that. It's funny. I don't know how planes ever were on time before, but it seems like they used to be on time more. Oops. I think the leaves need to go up instead of down. Of course, maybe they could go down. I don't know. That's okay. There we go. Press that down, and now I'm going to put this one over here. And I think I'm finally satisfied with this. Oops. Well, doesn't quite cover it up to the top, but I cut off too much, but it'll be all right. I'll put the little thing down at the bottom, the little pumpkin, and it'll be okay. It'll cover up my mistake. You can always fix mistakes with junk journals. You can always put something else on there. A little decoration, a little something. This is what my printer printed. It was supposed to be a cream colored thing, and look at the bright yellow I got. I can't believe that. I don't know if this is my printer or my computer that does that, but that's horrible. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this little thing down here at the bottom. And it doesn't quite cover up the mistake. Well, we'll just pretend it does. Move it over there a little bit so it kind of goes off and covers it. All right, now I just need a tag to go in it. And I know I have plenty of tags here somewhere. Where's my envelope full of ephemera? Well, that one's not going to be tall enough. Well, that one's tall enough, but it's too narrow. I have some things that I backed. Ooh, that would be pretty in there. Have to cut a little bit down off of that, but that would be pretty in there, wouldn't it? She'll show through the window, I think. Yes. I'll cut a little bit off the bottom of that, and that'll be lovely. Now let's see what the measurement on this is. It is 5 inches. Oh, that can't be right because this is 5 inches. Yeah, it is. Okay, we'll just do a little bit here. And I'll put my scrap back in. Let's see if this fits, and then I can put a little tab on it. Oh yeah. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? I'm happy with that. Now I just need to make a little tab for it. And I have my punch here. And I need a piece of paper to cut it out of. I think I'll use this one. I could actually use this side of it. I got the whale tail punch from Temu. Didn't pay full price for it. They're always trying to give you something free if you buy a certain amount. And I buy enough from them that I got it. I don't remember if I got it free, but I got it cheap. And I've been wanting one, so why not? Okay. She needs inking along the edge because I can see white everywhere. And I think I'll round corners. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be all right. And my junk journals are for writing. There's a lot of ephemera and stuff in them, but they are for writing. To me, that's what a journal is for. Either that or putting in pictures of family and so forth. I do that also. I put pictures in. I have a little sprocket. Is it a sprocket? I think it's a sprocket. Yeah, an HP sprocket that I print pictures from my phone, and then I put them in my journals. Where do I want this? Up here in the middle? I guess I could put it right... No, I don't want it there. I think I'll put it up here. I don't want it on her pretty dress. Okay. I have a pocket that can go in a junk journal. Let me see here what I have. Well, I don't have a journal made up, but it can go on a page. I would glue it on the page like this. And then it'll pull out and you have a surprise in there. I always like that kind of thing. I like the windows. I wouldn't cover up either one of these, but there's other pages that I can cover up. Okay, that's it. This is Camille from my Junk Journal Heaven, and I'll see you next time. Bye.